Welcome, my fellow sapiens. I'm Omer, and you're watching You, Me, and Everyone Else, where we unravel the thread of time to discover how we became the remarkable species we are today. Today, we'll talk about language. We'll start with the fundamental question: what exactly is language? Animals communicate, but human language is special because it's much more complex and flexible. We'll explore what makes human language special, the limits of animal communication, and how scientists believe our ability to speak developed. Bees have an extraordinary way of communicating with you through what's called the waggle dance. A bee tells its hive about the location of the food by moving in straight line that points towards the source, waggling, waggling to indicate the distance, and showing liveliness to communicate the riches of the food source. However, this behavior is not language as we know it. Bees only communicate about food location and can't convey abstract concepts or discuss anything beyond immediate needs. Similarly, animals like dogs and cats can respond to basic commands, recognizing around 20 words on average. But as the philosopher Barnard Russell puts it, dog cannot relate his autobiography. However, he may bark, he cannot tell you that his parents were honest, though they were poor. This highlights that animal communication has specific, immediate limits that human language does not have. Apes, like us, shows some level of communication ability. If you note an ape, if you encounter an ape, you which seem almost like humans, prompting to wonder if they could be taught how to communicate. More recently, researchers have tested these possibilities by teaching chimpanzees and other apes basic sign language. One of the most famous examples is Washoe, a chimpanzee who learned around 130 signs and could use them to express simple requests. She even extended meaning using open to refer to openings of doors, containers, or taps. Washoe once signed waterbird when she saw a swan, showing an ability to combine signs creatively. However, researchers have found that apes' communication tend to be focused on immediate needs and heavily reliant on imitation with minimal use of grammar and syntax. For instance, Washoe signed along with humans 40% of the time, compared to only 5% in children learning language, suggesting that apes rely heavily on imitation rather than generating new language. So, why human language is different? According to the linguist Charles Hockaday, human language has features that animal communication lacks, two of which are especially important. Displacement. Humans can discuss things beyond the immediate context. We can talk about past or the future, hypothetical scenarios, or even abstract ideas like justice or freedom. Displacement allows us to share language, history, and big ideas. This ability to talk about abstract things helps us build cultures, complex societies. Productivity. We can combine words in an endless way to create an entire new sentences and meanings. For example, if I say, the green dragon flies over the purple mountain, you'll understand it, even if it's something no one has ever said before. This ability to endlessly create and interpret new meaning gives us an almost limitless language capacity, crucial for everything from storytelling to scientific discoveries. Talk about an example of the parrot Alex. So Irene Popperbag works worked with Alex, an African grey parrot, illustrate both the intelligence and the limits of animal communication. Alex the parrot would answer questions, count, and even ask for food by saying, "Want a nut?" Once, when asked to name the sounds for nuts, Alex sounded out each letter, demonstrating impressive skills. However, researchers found that Alex's use of symbols resembled kind of a learning routine rather than conveying original ideas. Sometimes he would just give random colors instead of correct answers, possibly out of boredom. This highlights the difference. This highlights the difference between using symbols for communication and connecting ideas to express complex thoughts. The distinction between symbols and true language underscores how human societies are built on foundation of shared and complex communication. One crucial aspect of human language is our ability to think symbolically. Symbolic thinking, meaning using symbols such as words or images to represent ideas, objects, or actions, allowing us to go beyond the here and now. This leap to symbolic thought transformed early humans, making it possible not only to create language, but also to engage in complex cultural practices like art, religion, and rituals. Symbolic thought didn't just lead to language, it changed how early humans understood the world. Concepts like love, honor, and community holds society together and adds depth to our social lives. Without symbols, human culture as we know it wouldn't exist. One popular hypothesis by the cognitive scientist Philip Limbard suggested that language is possibly partially due to physical adaptation. The lower larynx or voice box in humans, the voice box sits lower in the throat than other does in other animals, creating a large oral cavity for producing a variety and a wide range of sounds. However, this theory is debated. Young children and Neanderthals who have higher uh, voice boxes can still produce a variety of sounds, suggesting that factors beyond the lower larynx contributes to language ability. Cognitive and neural adaptations such as brain coordination, memory, and neural circuits plays a significant role in our language production. The Big Bang theory of language evolution suggests that around 50,000 years ago, humanity experienced a sudden leap in cognitive sophistication, resulting in advanced tools like art and likely language. Supporters argue that Homo sapiens first appeared around 150,000 years ago, with cultural complexity emerging much later. However, recent archaeological finds in Africa suggest a gradual increase in cognitive ability, with evidence of symbolic thoughts predating 50,000 years ago. This supports a gradualist model, where language evolved slowly through improvements in memory, social cognition, and problem solving, communicate, communicating in a full language capacity as we know today. One piece of genetic evidence supporting language's deep evolutionary root is FOXP2 gene, FOXP2 gene, which is linked to speech and language ability and traces back 100,000 years in humans. A mutation in this gene impacts grammar and speech fluency. But FOXP2 is just one part of the complex genetic puzzle. Language is likely a result of many interacting genes and neural adaptations. The human version of FOXP2 allows for more complex vocalization. But the evolution of language also reflects broader changes in brain structure and functions shaped over millennia. Scientists have different theories how language developed. Some, like Noam Chomsky, propose that humans have an innate universal grammar, a set of structural rules hardwired into our brains. This universal grammar suggests we are born with inherent ability to learn a language. Others, like Steven Pinker, sees language as an adaptation for social coordination and survival. According to this view, language developed in response to social needs, enhancing cooperation in early humans and societies. These perspectives highlight that language is both biological and a cultural phenomenon, shaped by our evolutionary history and social environments. The fundamental difference between animal communication and human language lies in our ability to convey abstract ideas, discuss things beyond the present moment, and endless combining words to create new meaning. This capacity allows us to share knowledge, express emotions, and build societies. While certain animals shows remarkable communication skills, human language is uniquely complex and shaped by the combination of genetic, aeronautical, and cultural factors. It's this language capacity that sets humans apart, enabling us to create art, culture, and civilization. We often feel like we can talk to our pets, but what aspects of language are missing in that interaction? And consider someone learning English as a second language, like I have. How do mistakes they make affect the meaning they intend to convey? For example, English is not my first language; it's my second language, and I pronounce certain words differently. How does that affect on a listener's ability to interpret that? Just the word interpret, I can't pronounce it properly. Thank you very much for joining me in the exploration of the origins of the language. I hope you have enjoyed it. Like if you like it, share if you super like it. In our next chapter, we continue to explore the incredible human story. Until then, ciao, ciao, amigos. I hope you have a lovely day, month, and a year. And guessed it right. We are all made up of stardust. Not letting you forget that. Ciao, ciao.